Welcome to my Learn English YouTube channel. Before we begin today's session, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are ready for another deep dive, and I'm super pumped for this one because it's all about learning English.
Yeah, some really interesting stuff out there on this topic.
For sure. And, we've covered tips and tricks before, but this one is really different. This one is a little bit more of the mindset.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into that.
Me too. So this is based on a YouTube video. It was originally by a creator called Wonder Girl John Javi, and then it was reposted by another creator called Sandeep MH Shorts.
Okay.
And basically it boils down to this idea that, when we think about learning English, we think, oh my gosh, verb conjugations and tenses and vocabulary lists.
Right.
And it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
But this video kind of turns all that on its head, and it basically says, you know what? Don't worry about all that stuff as much.
Right.
Worry about the mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really about changing how you perceive English itself.
Yeah.
It really emphasizes this idea of looking at it as just another language. Like, you already speak a language.
Exactly.
So you can learn this one too. It's not this giant intimidating thing.
You know what I love about that too is that so much of language learning, especially, as adults, we get in our heads about it.
Right.
We're so afraid of making mistakes. We're so afraid of sounding silly or, not being perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that this video just really encourages people to let go of that fear.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about how we learned our first language.
Yep.
We didn't even know we were learning. We were just
Exactly. We were just immersed.
just hearing it all the time and picking it up. And the video uses this really great example of learning Hindi. It talks about how we learned it by constantly hearing and understanding words in all sorts of situations, daily life.
So it's like that idea of immersion.
Immersion, exactly. And that consistent exposure over time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we are not living in an English-speaking country,
Mhm.
how do we actually do that? How do we actually get that kind of immersion and that constant exposure?
Well, that's where some of the practical tips in the video come in. And they might seem small, but they're so powerful. Like, the video talks about spending just 10 minutes before you go to bed recapping your day, but in English,
Oh, I like that.
right? It's like creating your own little English-speaking bubble,
Yeah.
even if it's just for a few minutes.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, sometimes those small little things can be so much easier to actually implement.
Exactly, because you can do that.
10 minutes before bed, I can definitely do that.
Absolutely. And it builds on that idea of starting small. Don't try to write, an essay on the first day. Start with sentences.
Right.
Then maybe work your way up to paragraphs. But the key here is consistency.
Consistent.
Doing a little bit each day.
And, something else that I thought was really interesting that the video mentions is consuming media in English.
Right?
So that means like reading newspapers, listening to music, watching TV shows or movies.
Social media even.
Social media.
Mm.
Exactly. And I think that is such a great way to kind of surround yourself with the language,
Mhm.
even if you're not physically, in a place where everyone is speaking English.
Yeah, because it really normalizes the language. Makes it feel less foreign.
Right. And the more you encounter it, the more you start to pick it up.
Exactly. And that's really the core message of the video. The more you immerse yourself, the better you'll become.
So it's really all about consistency, immersing yourself, and like we talked about at the beginning, changing your mindset.
Right. Seeing it as approachable and not this scary, impossible thing.
Exactly. Well, I think this has been a really fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really love this idea of focusing on the mindset. I think that can really apply to learning anything new, not just English.
Absolutely. It makes you think, right? What else could we approach this way? What other skills or subjects have we been putting off because they just seem too daunting?
Right.
Maybe if we change our mindset and focus on consistency and immersion, those things wouldn't seem so scary after all.
That is such a good question for everyone to think about.
Food for thought.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. But thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all next time.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye!